I know. Surprise. I actually have a head. First of all, I'm going to apologise. I look rough. I've had about 3 hours sleep, so I'm sorry. You're just going to have to put up with me as is. And my room's a bit of a disaster too, so I'm sorry. Um, you can probably see that's... My kid's been painting since he was 1, and we have a big gallery of paintings on the wall. And then a whole bunch of craft stuff all over the place. And oh, here, let me move so I can hide all the mess on my desk. Oh, there's a lot of mess on my desk. Don't look. um, that's my other desk. So, anyways, I wanted to do a project that it's it's kind of a strange one. Normally, I get the images and I think, ooh, you know, what can I do with it? Yeah, but this one is. When I first saw it, I really liked it, and I kept thinking, God, it reminds me of something, and I couldn't think what it was. And then, as you can probably tell, I listen to music quite a lot when I'm working and stuff. So I was sat and I'm like listening to my music, and one of my favourite songs came on. I thought, that's what it was. That's exactly what it is. This reminds me of a song by Tom Petty. I don't know if any of you guys are Tom Petty fans, but he did a song that I absolutely love. Which when we get to the blog and everything, I'll put the details for the song and I'll put a link to the video and everything. So basically this is something I want to work around that. So it's kind of cool. Plus, it's kind of personal for me right now. Let's just say, anybody that knows me well knows I'm a disaster when it comes to relationships. Big style. So this just kind of resonates right now, for want of a better way of putting it. Okay, so some of you have seen me on Kitten Clouder and stuff. I know I'm playing around with different stuff right now. So what I'm probably going to be using, and I say probably because I never know until I actually get around to using it. I got, here, let me show you this one. I got a new pure color. I use Zigs, but I normally use the ones that are technically not refillable. This is their refillable version, which I like, but I have to admit I'm not keen on chisel tips. I don't know why they insist on putting them on all the time, but they put chisel tips on them. So, but I got it because it's got the tips that I like on the other end. Now, I only bought one of them simply because I already have refills for this particular color, which is 731. I really like this for flesh tones. It's more of a beige, more of a warm olive skin type color as opposed to the pinky kind of colors that a lot of them do. The other thing, of course, gotta have my chameleons. It wouldn't be one of mine without a chameleon. Okay, the other thing that I got, and I know a lot of you were using these when I had my last blog a few years ago, the clean colors. I don't have a lot of them, so I'm gonna kind of integrate my Gansai Tambis in with it as well, because I don't have all the colors on the other one. Of course, H2O water brush, and of course I've always got these handy, which are my jelly rolls. The Stardust one in particular I really like, but for the most part I think I'm going to be using mostly chameleons and a bit of watercoloring, probably. But to be honest, my projects kind of do whatever they want. I start off with one idea and it ends up somewhere else. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and fashion it on the Tom Petty video. He's wearing a similar kind of outfit in this video. So, and for anybody that doesn't know, I'm kind of a grungy colorer. I don't really do the soft, cutesy Copic type thing. And one of the things I really love is this mixed media paper. I love working on this. It's a Canson mixed media. And the reason I love it is because I have an Epson Eco Tank, and I discovered totally by accident a few years ago that the ink is water-based. It's like, oops, found that out the hard way. And then I realized it was actually a really cool thing for the kind of stuff that I like doing, because well, I'll show you. This is one of the things I love doing with my art before I actually start coloring. is I like to go in with my H2O brush and just pick up some of the ink and use it to do like a quick rough shade. And you really don't have to be careful with this. It's one of those things that you can just literally just swipe round the lines. You know, if you want to go in and do more detail, you can. But I like to just go in and add in some shading right from the get-go. And it's really not a precise, ooh, I've got to be so delicate shade. It's literally just go in and smear ink around. Which I know sounds terrible, but I like it. It gives it a little bit of body before you even get started. And it's kind of got that grungy feel to it that I like. I know a lot of people, excuse me, I know a lot of people go in and they do their outline shadings and stuff in like the light blues and stuff for the like the drop shadow effect, but I actually really like doing it with my ink. I don't know if, can you see how this is changing? Does that show compared to the top one? So you're starting to get a little bit of shadow and stuff on it. So, I mean, you honestly, you don't have to be precise with it at all, because you're going to colour over it, and it's just going to give it a bit more depth, that's all. It's like, I know that when I did this before with one of my girls, that was one of my design team members on my blog, it's like, she tried it, and her printer, I don't remember what she had, to be honest, but her printer ink doesn't do this. And she tried it and it just wouldn't work. So it's probably going to depend on what kind of printer you have and what their ink consists of. But, you know, give it a try. You know, it doesn't hurt to try. Just print out on some mixed media or watercolouring paper if you have some. Oh, actually, talking of watercolouring paper, I'm kind of disappointed. I bought some watercolour pads. Normally I buy this mixed media paper, but I saw some watercolour pads and they were a really good price, and I thought, it's Canson. It's going to work, right? I don't know what the deal is, but it's so damn thick, it won't even go through my printer. It's like my printer's like, no. So I've got all these pads of watercolour paper, and quite honestly, I can't draw. So the chances of me being able to draw anything to watercolour it is pretty slim. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. It won't even go through my printer. It's like crazy. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, it's really kind of grungy looking. It's not all perfect or by any stretch of the imagination, and you can see the difference in the lines. But I really like doing that first, just to give it a little bit of something. And you can go in, if there's areas that you know are going to be dark, you can go in and just smear the ink around even more. It's like on these stockings, in the video, his pants are actually black. So it's totally okay to just take the ink, and I'm just going to darken these all out. There's so much ink on this on the stockings that I can do that. And then there's going to be areas where you know it's going to be a lot darker because it's shaded out or it's in the shadow and stuff. So you can go in and you can just like drag ink around. Just give an extra bit of shade to it. Darken things up when you know they're going to be dark. One of the things that I do, and this kind of helps. I know a lot of people, especially the ones like you girls that colour with Copics, like you do all of your shading with like various shades of a colour. And one of the things I like to do instead, because I use chameleons and it's only got a small colour range when you use them as regular pens. So I like to go in with like a darker grey and do where my shadows would be, similar to what I'm doing with this. And I'll go in with a grey pen and I'll lay down shadow underneath it. So when I go over it with the colour, I actually get a more natural colour tone. It looks like it's in shade, as opposed to being different shades of a colour. So it's kind of hard to explain, but I actually prefer that as opposed to trying to take two different colours in the same family and blend them in together. If you put the grey underneath it first and then go over the top of it, it gives you that darker version of whatever you're using. So anyways, it's just personal taste, you know. Everybody colours differently, and I'm certainly not a colorist or whatever it's called. I just enjoy what I do. Okay, so that'll dry off pretty quickly, and I think I'm gonna actually go with my chameleon flesh tone if I can figure out where I put it. I've got a big box of pens over here. Oh, there it is. Ooh, did I just show my double chin? I'm sorry. Hey, you know, when you get to my age, you've got double everything. Except for these. So, those are not a double anything. Okay, so, you'll get used to my sense of humour. I'm sorry if if you're going to be coming in here, it's like, videos aren't serious. Especially when my kid's around, and at some point, some of you are bound to run into my kid. He likes to hijack my videos and come say hi to everybody and comment on my projects while I'm working and tell me what I'm doing wrong while I'm working, or tell me what I'm doing right sometimes. So you will at some point run into my kid. I have to warn you, he's as bad as I am. Neither one of us has much of a filter. And to be honest, we don't do serious videos. Usually we just mess on with each other and give each other a hard time, on and off video. So it's something you'll get used to. We don't do serious. So I'm just going in and laying down some colour. I haven't set my laptop up and everything up for any video editing at all, so it's like you get the raw, uncut, unedited, whatever's going on at the time video when it comes to me and the little guy. Although I'm definitely not putting him live. Not anytime soon. Because he seriously has no filter. And I'm pretty sure it's going to take a while before he learns to watch what he says on video. And in the meantime, we can do recorded videos until he learns to filter. Because I go out, I don't drive, so when we go out, sometimes we go via Lyft sometimes. And oh my goodness, I know a lot of Lyft drivers put videos and stuff online. I hope there's none of my kid. He will talk to anybody about anything. And let's just say there are members of his family who would not be very happy. Okay, this colour's a little bit brown compared to what I actually want. But that is okay, because I'm going to go back over portions of it with a red, and that will brighten it up to give it more of the burgundy look that I'm actually going for. So has anybody guessed yet what the video is that I was talking about? I'm sure there's some Tom Petty fans in here somewhere that have already figured out what this is. And if not, somebody will have been running off to Google and go, what's the Tom Petty videos? Ooh, it's a good job I looked at that. I almost missed the fact that that wasn't his jacket, or her jacket. I almost coloured in something I wasn't supposed to. That's why I like to try and rough my images out first. Instead of doing all of the detailing and stuff, I try and rough out the colours where they're going, because there have been a few times when I've coloured something and I've gone, oh no, that wasn't supposed to be there. That's not that. So I have to be careful. It's very easy to do that. Now, if I remember rightly, he had a white shirt and it was a white shirt and a blue waistcoat, I believe. I need red. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you've got to use the right paper, you go through too much ink if you use the wrong paper and everything else. But I actually really like colouring on this paper. Whether it goes through more ink than I want to or not is irrelevant to me, to be honest. I hate to say it. It sounds like really arrogant or really stupid, but I'm more interested in getting the effect I want. And to be honest, I've had my chameleons for probably 3 years now. And apart from like the flesh color and the clear and the black, out of all of my colors, I've only refilled a handful of them. Obviously, having 2 years out where I wasn't doing any crafting because of my divorce and everything, I mean, that obviously helped, but there's not an awful lot of them that I've had to refill on a regular basis. And to be honest, I've just literally bought a bunch of new refills because I thought when I came back to crafting that, I mean, I was pretty convinced my pens were going to be all dried up after so long. Plus, I know I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on this new blog, and the little guy has suddenly decided that he can't use Crayolas anymore. He has to have the good pens. So he's planning on using my chameleons. He actually wanted a set of his own, and I'm like, nope, sorry, not happening. So rather than go out and buy another set for him, I mean, I will at some point, but right now it makes more sense to go and buy the refills, and for him to just use my pens. So because I need refills, and I don't see the point in buying refills and a new set of pens. I don't know if you can see, I'm going back over the kind of, it's like a deep orangey reddy brown, the original colour underneath, and I'm going back over with a red now, and it just brings up the tone to a more red colour. So I'm just kind of roughing it out right now, and I know his pants were grey or black, so I'm gonna this might be one of the ones I need to refill. The greys I use a lot of. Actually, it's kind of weird. Sometimes I find that one end of my pen is drier than the other, and to be honest, I mean, I love my chameleons because they have the bullet and they have a really nice brush tip. But depending on what I'm doing, sometimes the bullet is just a lot easier to maneuver in some of the smaller spaces. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to hide these out completely and make them look black, or whether I'm going to leave some of the pattern in. I might leave some of the pattern in it, actually. We'll see. I can always change my mind later on. And for anybody that's wondering, I really don't like to colour on a flat surface. So I actually have, this is my scribble board. It's my little easel. It's actually got, I practice on the back too. It's just literally an old scrap piece of wood, and it's got two kids, you know, the kids' wooden blocks. It's got wooden blocks glued to the underside, and it just gives me like an angled surface to colour on, which I prefer. I actually have over here, which you can't see, I have a portable draft table. It packs up so you can just carry it and take it with you, that I was given by my ex-grandma-in-law, who is an interior designer, and she got another one, so she gave me that one. But to be honest, I don't use it a lot because it's usually, I mean, it's pretty big, and it's usually covered in all sorts of stuff. And I don't like to have to clear it off all the time. Sometimes I do use it, I just don't use it as much. And I find this is really convenient. I can throw it on any of the desks that that I'm working on. Because at some point when I tidy up in here, which may happen or may not, I'll show you all the different craft desks and stations and stuff that we literally don't have a front room. We have a craft room. The entire front room is covered in craft desks, rolling carts, craft benches. So it literally is a craft room. My whole dining room and front room is like that. I don't have a sofa. I don't have a TV in here. We have a TV in our bedrooms. I did have a sofa at one point, but we don't even have that now. I'm antisocial. It's like, if you don't craft, you don't come visit. And all the crafters that visit are perfectly happy not to have a sofa. So it's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm going to, when I do white, I tend to use, I've got a light blue, it's the BL3. And I tend to use that when I'm trying to do white, just to give it a little bit of like an edge. And I use it when I'm doing snow and stuff too. It just gives it a little bit of a lift, as opposed to just leaving it plain white. And I'll go back in later when I'm finishing up, and I'll just lift some of it out a little bit with an alcohol blender, but it just kind of lifts the white up a little bit. I don't know if you can see. I guess it's like, you know, when you do laundry and they have those blue white things in the laundry detergent that are supposed to help keep everything white. I guess I'm going to blame it on that. We'll call it that. Okay. I need something for his hair. And his hair's kind of like a sandy colour. Now, I doodle in the bottom corner when I can't remember exactly what colour pen I want. In case anybody's wondering, I always doodle on the corner because I know I'm not going to be using that bit. I'm really not sure which would be the best colour for his hair. Let's see what this is. No, that's too pink. I mean, I can take some of the colour out, but I keep saying he. So Get is actually a girl. Sorry. Oh, and for anybody that's not familiar, this is. Oh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble because I'm probably gonna pronounce this completely wrong. Those of you who have been on my blog, you know where I'm a design team member, and it's Mirtillamente, which is Italian, and I'm pretty sure I just butchered that. I'm so sorry. The girls will be like going, "Oh my god." So it was funny. I was actually on one of the live sessions yesterday, and it's like everybody is talking in Italian, and I'm like, huh? It's like, there's not much I like about Facebook, I've got to be honest, but it was useful to have the translator. I mean, every now and again I heard Samantha and Texas, so I knew it was like something I had to pay attention to, but I'm like, oops. And then somebody said something, and I guess sometimes the translator is a little bit weird, And it says stuff and I'm like, no, that can't be right. Okay, Tom Petty has kind of yellowish blonde hair, so that's what we're going with, okay? And if I remember rightly, he was wearing a blue waistcoat. It wasn't really that blue though. I may not have a blue, and I don't really want to blend right now. I may not have the right blue. What's this? Oh, yeah, that's better. It's much more like it. When I say blend, I don't know if anybody's familiar with chameleons, but they have the blend tips, the blending caps, so that you can blend your colours with clear alcohol. Yeah, I need to get my nails redone. You blend them with clear alcohol, so you get the colour gradients. And they also have the colour tops now, which I love, which is the same idea, but it's all the different colours of ink. So you can do tip to, you know, like you do the tip to tip colour blends, like yellow to red, so you go yellow, orange, red. It's like that, but it's, instead of having pen to pen, you've got special tops for it, which is really cool. And I do love those. Now, one thing I didn't get out, which I'm probably not going to use in this project anyways, but I just got the chameleon fine liners, which do the same kind of thing as this. You do the tip to tip blending with the caps. I haven't really had a chance to use them, but they're like the really fine metal tip fine liners, and I'm really looking forward to playing with those, because I got a really good deal when I came back. They had a sale on for Christmas, I guess, and I managed to just sneak in at the last minute. On the very last day, I saw this bundle to get a deal on those, so I got a really good deal on them, and I'm really looking forward to trying those. I have to try and do it when my kid's not around, because he's not the most gentlest people on my fine line tips. So he's bent a few of them. So, but I'm looking forward to trying those out. I'm definitely not going to put them in my cricket though, because I've got a feeling my cricket would probably beat the tips to death, and I don't want to bend them. So, but I am looking forward to those. I'm just doing the cups and saucers, the same kind of idea with the white and the blue, just to give them a little bit of definition, so they're not just plain white. I may put some glitz on them afterwards, but I really like the Wink of Stella. It's pretty cool. They've got some good white glittery ones that I like. It's good for stuff like this. And I'm sorry, you know, I've got a nasty feeling at some point Alice may see me doing videos of colouring, and she's finally going to realise why I colour the way I do. I'm sorry, Alice. Is it Alice? Alice? Or Alice? I always call it Alice. I think it's Elise, actually. So, anybody that's been colouring for a while, you probably know who I'm talking about. So don't tell her I pronounced the name wrong. But I'm talking about Elise from Kitten Clouder. And if you don't know who that is and you like to colour, you really ought to go check it out. Her group's awesome, and she's awesome. I mean, I've had some of her classes for like 3 years, and I never ever will graduate that class. It's never gonna happen. I don't colour in that style. But her classes are awesome, even for people like me that don't colour in that style and don't actually want to colour in that style, because her techniques transfer over regardless of what kind of pens you're using or what your style is. Her techniques and teaching you about shading, shadows, and texture and stuff, you can make it work for you. You don't have to be, you don't have to follow it step by step by step and be exactly the same as her style. And that's one of the things I love about her. It's like she doesn't say, "Oh no, you have to do it my way," and she's really awesome like that. I mean, I told her right from day one. It's like, I'm never going to graduate this class. I don't color like that. I don't want to color like that. But her techniques and teaching you about shading and shadow and all that kind of stuff, and her backgrounds. I don't know if you've ever seen. She does monthly classes, and you can get her classes and you get the stamps and everything else. But she does really cool backgrounds, which I really ought to get some of the classes so I can. I've got some of them. I think I've got dragons. I think I bought dragons. But yeah, so you can learn to do like water, brickwork, and she's got some really cool classes. I've got which ones do I have? I think I bought hair and skin was the main one. I think. I've got, and she also has free classes. You should go check them out. If you're not a member, go check out her group, and then check out the classes. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, which pen did I use? No, it wasn't that one. So yeah, she does these really cool. I'm sorry, I get distracted and lose track of what I'm thinking. She does these awesome classes with some really cool techniques. Everything from nature and stuff. But she's also got a class on metal, which I think is really cool. And I don't have it, and if I remember rightly, it's the botanical nature one. She also teaches you to do like metal things, like watering cans and that kind of stuff. So, which is really cool. And I would actually like to take that class when I get time. So, okay, so we need shoes. And just for now, I'm just, like I said, I rough out my colour first, and I get most of the base colouring done. And then I go back in and I do detail and add in my extra shading, because the way that I colour is, like I said, it's so unlike most people. They'll start off with the shadows and work their way in, or they'll start off with the highlights and work their way out and stuff. And I tend to base color mine out roughly. I mean, there's a little bit of shading and a little bit of like highlighting in it, but once I get the base color and I think, that looks kind of what I wanted, then I'll go back in. Okay, so can you see? I've got most of the base on that. Like, you've got a little bit of blue on the cups and everything else, but there's no real shading or depth or anything in it. So I tend to do that, because then I can look at it and think, well, did I get the color scheme right? Because I would hate to spend hours and just do the hat and get the hat perfect and then mess something else up or decide it's the wrong colors and stuff. So I tend to lay mine out first, just to get a rough idea, and once I'm thinking, yeah, that's about the right color scheme, that's what I wanted, then I'll go back in and I'll add all the other bits into it. And then my little secret weapon, where is it? Where did my secret weapon go? It's got to be in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. This is my secret. Because nearly all of the digital stamps that I get, the hair is very basic, and because I don't color with the same kind of technique, and the whole flicky thingy, I just can't do it. Let's be honest here. Apart from the fact that it's not really what I want, I can't do it anyways. I really truly suck at flicking my pens. I can throw them all over the floor, but I cannot flick them to do hair. But this is my secret weapon. Chameleon, when you buy your chameleons, you get fine liner. They have a black fine liner. There's like that way. So focus. There's a really thin end, and then there's a slightly thicker one. Now, anybody that's seen my my artwork and stuff will know that I use these. Not just this, I've got other fine liners, but I use fine liners to create my hair texture, whether it's curly hair or straight hair or whatever. I use these to put in detail for my hair, and I love it. And you know, everybody's different, everybody likes, you know, whatever they like, but that's my personal thing. I like to go in and put more detail into the hair than the original art has. And it's very rare that I don't go in and put extra detail in. Even like if I'm doing anything that's got like fur on it or anything like that, I'll do the same thing. Anything that's kind of like textured hairy, that sounds really weird. But anyways, I know what I meant. Anything that has a hair-like texture, then this is my go-to pen. Sometimes I'll use the other ones depending on what color scheme I'm using. So, but this is definitely my go-to on that. So, but yeah, basically that is the start of my project. Woohoo! So, the next time you see this one, hopefully it will be all detailed up and on a blog post, and hopefully on a project piece, because I have something in mind for this. Like I said, so I'm actually looking forward to this. So, anyways, I'm going to let you go. No, and I have to go do something with my hair. It sounds crazy. My hair, I keep cutting my hair off, and I really shouldn't. And then I just let it grow, and it was like driving me crazy. So I thought, okay, it's time to perm my hair again. And I don't know if anybody perms their hair or has their hair permed. I know it's a very 80s thing, but oh well. I waited till the 2000s before I did mine. I permed my hair, and you have to leave it for like a few days before you can wash it, and so it's just at the point where I can wash it now, but it's also really, really fuzzy. So I need to put product in it. So it's like, it's still so short. All I do is I throw it up in pigtails so I can just get it out of the way. So you're gonna get used to me. So, but anyways, it was fun.